Hello and welcome along to this Parents Booking tutorial. First of all, you need to go to Parents Booking and log in as a teacher or staff member in order to use it. So you should have been sent a username and a link that will allow you to choose your own password. And you would input those here in Parents Booking and that'll log you in. If you don't know your password, your username is typically your email address. So you can pop your email address into this forgot your password section and that will send you a new link in which you can use to create a password. Separately, you can log in with any of these single sign-on options here. So if your school uses Google or Microsoft Provision your email, you can use one of those. And there are other options as well using My Login and Exporter. Let's log in. Once you're logged in, you'll be shown the teacher dashboard. And there are only two things I want to make note of initially. So first of all, you'll notice there's a blue link that is the name of your parents' evening. We're going to click on that in a second, and that will show you your appointment schedule. But separately, if you have logged in for video meetings, a join video appointment button will show. However, this only shows 15 minutes before your first appointment. So not the first appointment for the parents' evening, but your specific first appointment. And that's just so that you don't go into the video room and then become logged out through inactivity and miss your first appointment. So if you're really early, then instead of saying join video appointment here, there'll be a button instead that says that this button will show up soon. So it'll say something like video meetings will start later, something like that. Separately, if you log in the day before or multiple days before your parents' evening, there'll be no button at all, just this percentage bar. So if you see this button, that's normally because it's time to join your video meetings. But before we do, let's click on the parents' evening name here, and we'll just show you how the teacher schedule works. So it's quite straightforward. I'm Miss Care in this example, and these are my appointments. Now, this is a demo, so it's not real. These are obviously not real parents and students, so it's repeating. But you can see the student name and the subject that they're booked with you for, and also some class details. This is showing their year group, but sometimes also you'll see a class code. It shows which parent is booked because sometimes it's one parent, sometimes the other. And then to the right of that, if the parent has left any comments, it will say that you have to click to reveal the comment. And actually, teachers can take their own private notes as well. This will then show on your appointment schedule, print off, for example, or your email. And then lastly, attendance. So you can take attendance if you're marking this manually. However, if it's a video meeting, it will actually automatically take the attendance for you. So you can review this afterwards and you can tick or untick appointments as they were or weren't attended. You can also obviously email your appointment schedule and you can print it from here too. Lastly, this calculation is not entirely true. Obviously, no one would have -1 pending students, but typically it'll tell you you've got 20 or 30 slots available for, 20 or 40 students. So it'll be green or red depending on whether you've got enough time or not. And then you can click on which students have not booked to actually see which of the students have yet to book you. And it'll tell you if some of those students won't be coming because their parents have RSVP'd no and things like that. And sometimes it'll also have another link here that tells you if there are students or parents who are on the waiting list because you're fully booked and they wanted to see you, so it'll tell you that there too. So that's your appointment schedule. And if we go back to our dashboard, we'll now go into a video meeting. So just to say, when you first go into a video meeting, it's going to ask you to approve your webcam and your microphone, and then it'll take you in to the actual meeting itself. So we'll go through those steps now. Now, welcome to a video meeting. First of all, you'll notice this is just me in here alone, and that's because this is a demonstration. There isn't someone on the other end of this video meeting. But it's just to show you how it works. So what I should say is before you get to this point, you'll normally have a pop-up which will ask you which microphone and which webcam you want to use. So you have to go through and approve those, like you would with Teams and Zoom. And it'll remember. So like with me, the next time you come in and between meetings, it'll remember those settings. So as well, you shouldn't expect to just see yourself. The reason I'm seeing myself is because it's me alone. So if a meeting starts and it's just you alone, it'll just be you that you're seeing, just like I am right now. But normally what will happen is it'll connect the parent and the teacher together. So you'll see the other person here in this big screen. And then in the top right corner up here, you'll see a preview window for all the participants that are showing. And the person that's speaking is the person that's shown in the main area, although it won't show you yourself. So if there's multiple participants, say there's 2, 3, 4 parents and teachers and maybe a student or similar in here, although that's unusual. Normally it's one parent, one teacher, maybe a second parent joining from a different location. But let's say you have multiple participants in here, it'll show who's speaking in the middle. Now let's look at some of the controls. So you'll notice that it's telling me which parent I'm speaking to, and it shows in brackets the name of the student so I know who we're talking about. And then underneath it's counting down how long is left of my meeting. So when it runs out of time, the meeting will end automatically and I'll be moved on to my next appointment. There might be a gap between my meetings just depending on the settings the school has used when they've set these meetings up. Below the video feed, you'll notice down here that there's the usual sort of controls. So I've got my microphone and my webcam settings. I can also share my screen. So you can see here all the other bits and pieces that you can use to share. And then I can also blur my background as well. You'll see that's working there. Quite straightforward. And then at the bottom of the page, it's showing you the meetings that are on your schedule, and in yellow, the meeting you're on right now. So you can keep a track of who you're speaking to. And of course, because it's a demo again, it's not real meetings. What you can do though is you can click on a parent name in order to see some of their contact information. And then if you have any problems for any reason, the buttons in the top right here, the video settings and the diagnostics, they'll let you, well, the video settings will let you change your microphone, your webcam, things like that. The diagnostics will tell you exactly what's wrong if you're having any problems. Okay, so that's it. It's as simple as that. Just basically click on that button on the dashboard to log in here, approve your microphone and webcam to make sure they're working, and then just wait for the meetings to start. There's no start stop button or anything like that. If you press the red button, that actually hangs up on the meeting you're in. So there doesn't really need to do that unless for whatever reason you and the parent are both finished. You can press the red button, and that might mean you've got more time until your next meeting. But otherwise, the time will run out and it'll just move you on automatically. Okay. Lastly, just in case you're interested, I thought I would show you how parents make bookings and how the website works for them. So similar to the teachers, they have a dashboard like this. It shows all the things they can book. So we have a parents' evening at the top here, and there are actually two ways they can book. So the more old-fashioned way is to make appointments one by one. So you'll notice here that when I click on that, it's showing all my children because I might have multiple children in the same parents' evening, and I know that triplets is unlikely, but just as an example. And then it shows the different subjects you can book. So if I click on, for example, maths, it'll show you Kim Graham, who's my maths teacher for this child, Callum Smith, and you would click book and it'll book the appointments one at a time. But because that's quite manual and yeah, like not particularly intelligent, we have this wizard called Suggest Bookings for Me, and this will calculate the best schedule for the parents. So you would choose which of the teachers you want for each student. So you can see here, I'm going to click on these teachers for Callum, and then we'll do the same for Tasha, something like that. And at the bottom, it asks when you're free. So if there was in-person meetings and video meetings, I could decide which I want to go to. So this is an example where a parents' evening is hybrid. It's not always like this, of course. Sometimes the school will only offer one or the other. But you can then just choose which of the times you are available between. So if I wasn't free until, let's say I'm not free until 4 o'clock, but I have to be gone by 6:30, you would change your availability and you simply press make my bookings for me and the wizard will go away and it'll calculate the best schedule. Okay.